Alrighty, I got the intro video going again. So while we're waiting, real quick here, let's go through a short meeting before we get started. How's everybody doing this week anyways? Everybody doing good?
I'm doing great. I moved.
Oh, cool. I'm glad to hear it. At any rate, I got a recording here of, I know that nobody's really gotten a chance to get to know our supervisor, Floating Severed Monster Head. But yeah, he recorded a little speech for everybody, which I'm going to play for everybody right now. I find it kind of inspiring, so I think it's his way of getting to know us. Of course, I couldn't be bothered to translate that from Morse code, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty inspiring. Yeah.
I'm gonna be crying.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I think it really cuts to the heart of the matter, don't you guys?
I would agree.
Yeah.
At any rate,
Pretty precise, actually.
onto some items here real quick here. The new red rum snacky cakes in the vending kiosk are for all to enjoy, but we ask that you please limit your consumption to like 1 or 2 a day because, well, everybody in our new sales department is gluten intolerant. Also, all meat-based sandwiches have been removed and replaced with vegan-approved fruit and vegetables. Now, I know some of you may find the fruits and vegetables clawing at the plexiglass covers trying to escape rather heartbreaking, but trust me, they seriously have it coming. Just don't make eye contact and the sound will fade into the background, kind of like crickets, or the sound of Democrats claiming Russian collusion. All right?
Hey, now.
Item number 2. Yes, we do pay for college courses. If you apply with HR, you have to do it at least 2 months before the semester starts, and you have to show how the course is relevant to your duties here at the station. However, trying to major in Greek philosophy and with a minor in archery magic is not going to fly, okay? I don't care how much you might hate Zeno's paradox, but I'm looking at you, Drew. I'm looking at you, okay? Mm-hmm. But it's just not going to work, okay? They're not going to approve it. Stop applying for it, okay? They're getting annoyed.
I just figured they'd give up and let me have it eventually.
I understand. I understand the attrition method, but it's not going to work. Okay.
That used to work. I kind of fucked that up for you. Sorry, Drew.
Yeah. I hate to say it.
You're the reason we can't have nice things.
Yeah, he ruined it all for us. Yeah. And finally, I think again, I think we need to address the pit situation.
The pit.
The one on the 3rd floor main hallway that for some reason you can't see from the 2nd floor main hallway.
The pit.
Yeah, as an update, I would like to let everybody know they've discovered it only seems to work in proximity. So thanks to somebody who will remain nameless, Randy, HR department is allowing people to be in love again as long as you're not on the 3rd floor.
Yay!
Okay.
Good news for me.
However, we do need to address the fact that people, rather than going all the way down to the basement to where the recycling bins are, they're just dumping stuff into the pit on the 3rd floor. Now, I do understand that theoretically it is bottomless. However, the pit has begun to salivate. So that's probably not good. All right? We don't need to encourage it, all right? So the yellow ribbons up between the little cones up there, the orange cones, that the whole caution ribbon, that's for everybody. Okay? No sneaking up there and tossing your recycling in, please. All right? We need to address that, okay? Can we all agree to this?
Fine.
What about the WMDs? Can we still chuck them in there?
To be honest, it'd be so expensive to dispose it by any other way. Yeah, you can put it in there,
Good.
Okay, the recycling, that we can do our part with the recycling, but if it's stuff that actually we have to pay money to get rid of, okay. If nobody's looking, nobody's looking.
I know how we can fix our refuse budget then.
For now, please bring it down to the standard bins in the basement, okay? I know that we used to have janitorial staff, but apparently nobody informed janitorial company that we subcontract to not to be in love when you enter the building, and while nobody's seen our janitors. So, and apparently they're not willing to send more janitors. I don't know why. So that's the problem. That's why everybody has to take care of their own recycling now. And I'm sure management will get resolved in the future. Anyway, I see the video's wrapping up. Anything else before we get to the show?
No, I'm right this week.
All right, we all good this week? We're good. All right. By the way, last week's show, everybody liked that a lot. I think Fashion Police is going to go good this week. At any rate, if nothing else, we're going to start in 5. All righty then. Okay, in 5. 5, 4. Greetings and salvations. I am Unthaf Neverborn, the abyss that slumbers, and this is Eldritch Rants, the show that dares to ask the question, got milk? The answer to this question and many more will be answered by our panel of experts, including Drew, who is a bovine restitution specialist, as well as Gwendy Wook, who is the calcium historian and author of the New York Times bestseller, Truth or Dairy. Thank you very much. Frankly, she is the one who knows why the milkshakes bring all the boys to the yard.
Damn it.
She got milk.
And last but not least, he has a black belt in bullshit. He is the Baron of Blather. The only difference between he does and stupidity is all in the swagger. It is the one and only Friday Von Bumstink. Hey, welcome everybody. How's it going this week? Hey, and I see we actually have our fan back. Hello, fan. How's it going? Oh, and that gun's good. There we go. How's it going, Jacob? How's it going? At any rate.
Oh, hey, Jacob's here. I can't see the live stream. I can't see the YouTube. So I don't know when people are actually watching. But hi, Jacob.
I'll try and relay it every once in a while. At any rate. This week we got a usual assortment of topics. And as you can see, my new start picture is troll fashion, that frowny face. Oh, I love that picture. Remember the frowning shirt from last week's?
Oh man,
that's one of the few things I remember about last week.
It will haunt forever. It is part of this show from now on. Troll fashion. Oh yeah, the memo is on the list this week. Anyway, we're going to go through the usual topics and then we're going to wrap up with, if we're going to do this in 2 more segments, 90 pictures of fashion, but we might do less depending on how time's running. Anyway, shall we jump into the topics and get going?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to take it slow to start with. I actually saw a legitimate BuzzFeed article the other day where what happens when your mom or dad steals your identity. You know what? I've looked into this a bit beyond what BuzzFeed is doing. They do the usual heartstrings. Oh no, parents can't get credit, so they use their children's social security number to get credit or to turn on the gas or the electric, et cetera, and then it builds up and it's, you have bad credit when you turn 18. I used to do bill collecting, and something I like to tell everybody is, A, you should pull your credit once a year because you're allowed to. They have to do it for free. 2, more importantly, if you're under 18, you can't be held responsible for any contracts. So if you are under 18 and you have a bad credit bureau report because you supposedly owe a lot of debt, in the United States at least, that's not possible. Okay? So all you need to do is call up your TransUnion, Experian, Equifax and say, I'm under 18. It is impossible for me to be contractually obligated to any amount of debt due to my age. Take this off my credit bureau report now. That is something that BuzzFeed does not address. They just talk about how horrible and terrible it is to be poor, blah, 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 usual heartstring crap. But the actual solution is if you're under 18 and you've got bad debt for some reason because somebody stole your credit, just tell them you're under 18 and it has to go away. Any thoughts on this real quick? It's just something that jumped out at me that I wanted to rant about because of my previous job.
I mean, okay, so like with my job, like we have had a couple instances where you end up with like a 13, 14-year-old with an account in our office, and it's interesting when that happens because like it's really hard to prove it because you can't really have parents verifying information because you can't really. It's all about security, confidentiality, privacy, blah 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 blah. So it's really hard to do that kind of stuff, but that is a thing that happens. I've had to deal with it like 3 times now.
Oh yeah, it
where
comes
it
up.
being like some kid.
Oh, it's happening a lot more. I mean, the economy's been going
Oh, yeah.
south, and well, we need to open up. We need to turn on the electricity again. Well, they won't give me any credit because I haven't paid my electrical bill. What do they do? Well, they get out their kid's social security number, and the kid gets the electricity on. The only. I mean, just if you happen to have that happen to you, just. You're under 18. You're not under any. Now, admittedly, they can still ask you to pay the bill. They just can't force you. So, but anyway, isn't it? It's just disgusting though too that parents would do that to their children to begin with. I don't care how bad it is. Don't be a scumbag.
Yeah, well, here, like we've got laws against that as well. It's insanely illegal to fucking get any sort of credit under the age of 18 here.
Well, it's legal here too, but that doesn't stop people.
Oh yeah, by all means, if you really, really wanted to. But out here, the punishment is just like it's really not worth the effort in the first place. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on to something personal before we get into more meaty details. There has been a recall for various products like cream cheese, meatballs. Let me go through the list here. Yeah, meatballs. Oh, yeah, ice cream bars from many different manufacturers, including BJ's, who sold me 3 boxes of 30-count ice cream bars that I ate 1 or 2 a day for about 3 months, which were all filled with listeria, apparently. I'm still waiting back on the blood cultures because apparently no matter how much listeria you have, your white blood count doesn't go up. So most doctors won't catch it unless you get a product recall notice, which I did a couple of days ago. Although, to be honest, this is just a sampling. I've found like a couple of different pages where there's been like 8 or 9 different food recalls all related to listeria, and they're not all from the same company. It's really weird when I started looking to it how much of a recall for listeria is coming out. For those of you guys that don't know, normally you just get, upset tummy and have diarrhea. But if it gets into your bloodstream, it can cause meningitis, your brain to swell, and for you to die. Or maybe in my case, it just causes unexplained muscle twitching for a couple of months. But so for me, that sucks. I wanted to bring it up, but I'm really wondering why there's so much of it now. Like, because there was nothing. We actually had nothing for like 2 or 3 years now.
That's my question with what you like when you were explaining it earlier. It's like, well, I mean, how do you suddenly get like this magical outbreak of this disease, and it's not even from just one company; it's from several. Where is the source of it?
That's the
they had to do.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, they had to do. Yeah, they had to do something to distract everyone from fucking Tide Pods. You'll probably find that it's. You'll probably find that it's come from like 1 or 2 dairy farms from an area that's had their milk go to a co-op that's just been all blended and pasteurized and all this kind of stuff and then sent off other places. So yeah, that's usually how those kinds of things break out.
It could be. I mean, there's got to be a route somewhere because BJ's isn't even the one who makes the ice cream. They subcontract to somebody else. And I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, there was the Blue Bunny ice cream listeria outbreak about 2 years ago, but it's not related to this. So I'm beginning to wonder, is there some root supplier somewhere who's screwing everything up? Because the irony is, when I look at the World Health Organization, they declared the listeria outbreak to be over in May, which was the time that I started eating this goddamn ice cream.
Yeah, well, you'll probably find that that it is exactly what you just said. Yeah, fucking hell! Someone talk. My brain just shut itself.
Anything else on this? This was just a personal rant here. We can move on to the meaty things today.
Yeah,
I mean, like, how do you not catch something like that? Don't they test for that?
Yeah, they're supposed to, but for some reason they only just now caught it. And this is ice cream dating back to January of last year. So this is ice cream that could have been contaminated for a year now out and about. Most people aren't going to get sick, except unless you're an idiot like me who through an entire summer says, oh, wow, that's on sale. I'm going to get 3 boxes of death. Ah, God. It also explains why I've been getting this mysterious illness that comes and goes with the antibiotics and won't go away. At any rate, yeah, so if you know anything from Fieldbrook products, don't throw it out. Get it tested and see if you can sue the crap out of them, because God knows if I'm going to.
I know. I remember what I was going to say. Yes, you will probably find that the large majority of the different brands of ice creams that you can get are most likely made by one company. And a lot of big companies will do this a lot. Say, for instance, Kellogg's, for example, make cereals and all that kind of stuff. Well, they make cornflakes for all the different generic bloody supermarkets and shit. So we've got Coles, Woolworths, Aldi's, and Franklin's. And all of their no-name brand cereals are all the same shit as what you get in a box of Kellogg's. So you will find that, like, these big companies, they do have their little aftermarket cheap shit products, and they'll put that under another brand, and you'll probably find that with 6 degrees of separation, there's 4 or 5 different companies that you never even knew were actually like the one thing.
Oh,
it could be that as well.
Oh, I suspect that this is probably just some problem at the root of all this chain of food production that's just been moving through, and they've just been ignoring it because details, reasons, money, blah. Anyway, moving on.
Yep.
Oh boy, we come on to the Nuez Memo. Before we get this, I want to, real quick, I'm going to jerk everybody around. I don't know, did you guys catch the State of the Union address?
Not really.
I did not.
I saw it, and I'm going to say right now, the Democrats came across as not being anti-Trump, as being anti-American. The close-ups of the various, Democratic leaders was not flattering. Not flattering at all. Oh, my God. You guys looked like they were miserable. And although the speech itself, I loved it. It was very well done. I think it may have been his best speech yet. But the part that killed me is where he was going, and unemployment for Black Americans is at an all-time low. And they cut to the representatives of, what is it, NISAC or whatever it is, the Black Coalition, except for one guy who looks happy as hell, one black guy clapping his ass off. The rest of them are practically sitting on their hands, and one guy I think is actually dead. It was... I'm sorry, but here's Donald Trump telling you that, hey, it's been better than ever for your people. They're not happy. And you know why they're not happy? Because they are the very definition. I've never heard this term before until I saw The Truth Factory, and I highly recommend that channel in particular, The Truth Factory. But it was the term poverty pimp, where you are of a minority and you keep your minority in poverty so that you have a job representing them.
Oh, Mother Teresa.
Oh yeah, it was awful. But I think it was a good start of the week for Donald Trump. And then we have the release of the Nuez Memo, which is an amazing end of the week for Donald Trump. Coming to the main event here. Who here has read the memo?
I have not.
Is that the
I'm about halfway through
the Acrobat file?
I remember it being mentioned because you mentioned it like on the chat thing, and I saw it, but I didn't read a whole lot about it.
No, I'll give you my take on it real quick. I've read through it.
Okay.
Again, to jerk everybody around, we're going to start off with because it's going to be relevant later. Before this was released, I don't know if you guys know, the FBI came out saying the Nuez Memo should not be released because it's a threat to national security. And the memo you're reading is not the original memo. It's been altered. Something the FBI didn't tell anybody. They're the ones who did the altering. They got a hold of the memo, they altered it, sent it back over to Congress, and then they're claiming, you can't release it because it's been altered. There is zero threats to national security in here. The only thing it's threatening is the FBI and the Department of Justice and the DNC. Now, to start off with a little bit of the memo itself, The people have been running around saying Hillary Clinton created it. No. Actually, reading over the memo, I believe this is the chain. Some newspaper somewhere contacted this. God, I can't remember his name now. This loser who created the original article that claims that Donald Trump is in collusion with the Russians and that he hired Russian prostitutes to pee on a bed in front of him and stuff like that. I mean, it was pure fiction. This news agency hired this guy to dig up dirt on Trump, found out what they were getting and said, no, this is junk. We're not going to publish this crap, and moved on. So this guy creating this memo, creating this file of made up bullshit about Trump says, I wonder where I could sell this. I could probably sell it to the DNC. So he goes to Fusion GPS, which is run by Hillary Clinton and the DNC, and says, look what I got to sell you. And they go, ooh, that's really good stuff. We're going to take that. So they didn't originally start the creation of this memo. They just paid for its completion. All right. And I don't think they have any claim to saying that they didn't know it was full of shit. But it's full of shit. It's obvious fabrications. There is no chain of evidence. Then this guy, what's his name? Glass? I keep forgetting what his name is. Hold on one sec. Let me look for his name for a second. I think it's, no, wait, it's not Carter Page. Yeah, I forget what the loser is, but there's this guy who creates the memo, okay? Then he writes an article on Yahoo News, and then he uses the article in Yahoo News as corroboration for the made-up memo, the made-up file about Donald Trump that he created, and both were taken to the FISA court, which is the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Courts, which is basically a secret court that Americans can't see. And this court, having, over 30,000 approved warrants from the courts, they've only turned down 12 applications ever. One of those was an application to spy on Donald Trump. People don't know that they already tried to use the FISA courts to spy on Donald Trump. The FISA court said, whoa, no. So instead, using this made-up file and the corroboration through Yahoo News, they got a electronic surveillance, court order to spy on Carter Page, who has never been indicted for anything and is apparently as innocent as the day he was born. And because Carter Page was so close to Donald Trump, they could use that to spy on Donald Trump. Nobody thought this would come to light because everybody was told Hillary Clinton was going to win. And of course, if Hillary Clinton won, all of this would disappear. None of this would come to light. Instead, Hillary Clinton didn't win. And for the past year, all of this Russian collusion bullshit has been based off of a fake memo and an article in Yahoo News, millions of dollars wasted, all so they could try to cover up the fact that the Democrats spied on Donald Trump. Okay? This is bigger than Watergate. I don't care what you say at this point. Now, I will say this. This is only the summary of the evidence. We haven't seen the actual original evidence, and that's what the Democrats are running around doing right now. They're running around going, oh no, you need to see the original. You need to see this in context. You don't know the whole story. Okay, all right. What's the whole story? But you don't know the whole story. No. We've agreed with you. Now tell us the whole story. But you haven't seen the whole... Shut up and tell us the whole story. Stop running around and saying we don't know the whole story. Tell us the whole story. They won't. I love the part where there have been people who go, oh, if this memo is released, it will destroy national security. And then right after it's released, the exact same people go, oh, this is a nothing burger. Well, how can it be a nothing burger? How can it be absolutely nothing if you just told us it would destroy national security? It can't, something that destroys national security isn't nothing. But I'm sorry. At this point, everybody's... I've been ranting too much. Yeah, go ahead, Drew. You guys go ahead.
Sorry. By its very definition, that's something if it can destroy national security.
Yeah, pretty much.
In my opinion here, this has been nothing short but a soft coup. It was an attempt to actually, make sure Hillary Clinton got selected for president, not elected. All right, so you guys get your take on this.
this is actually a rare circumstance you guys are watching when people like, in the FBI and all that kind of stuff start shitting bricks and telling fucking politicians to shut their mouths and stop looking. They're fucking close. They're really close to something. So everybody who's running around covering their asses right now is going to lose their job very fucking soon.
Oh, thanks, Jacob. You're right. The guy who created the file was Steele. What a last name. Oh, my God. In the end,
porn star's last name.
Yeah, well, considering the actual file, holy crap. Donald Trump hires prostitutes to pee on the bed that Obama used to sleep in. Ironically, I think right now Obama may be pissing himself that this has finally gotten released, because all of this goes back to him. All of it. There's no way, shape, or form that the DOJ and the FBI could work together to do this without the president knowing. There is no way on God's green earth, unless somebody from his administration steps up and said, I did all of it and I kept the president out of the loop entirely. It's all my fault. He had no idea anything was going on. Unless somebody jumps on that grenade, this is Obama. I'm sorry. Obama. And at this point, anything is said about Trump, I don't care if you came back with pictures of him murdering babies. Nobody's going to buy it now. Not after this. I'm sorry, I'm ranting again. You guys go.
I literally have nothing to say about it.
Nothing to say?
I don't know what to say.
I mean, that was actually my initial reaction. When I read it, I was like, what the fuck? And the thing is that it's so sloppy too.
So fucked up.
It's so sloppy. It
is this? It sounds so fake.
It's so bad. I mean, it's like the Three Stooges tried to do it. Remember the Marx Brothers?
It's like the plot of a C-list spy movie.
Yes, it's horrible.
Absolutely, that's exactly it, though.
It's kind of a really scary indication of how America was going to go with if Hillary got in. I mean, if things that were if this is as half-assed as what I think it is, Hillary's literally turned to the FBI and said, just do your fucking worst. I'll clear everything up. It's a sure thing. Don't worry. And they just obviously never bothered to even try and cover their asses, because they just thought, oh well, we've got a golden ticket. Fucking yeah, who cares about fucking covering fingerprints and ooh, they're investigating us. And she didn't get in. Ooh, poop.
And before anybody goes, well, you don't have, this is a nothing burger, I would like to point out that 2 days ago, both the head of the DNC and the deputy director have stepped down / quit their job / resigned / basically ran for their lives as soon as they knew this memo was going, because they knew there's nothing they can do and they needed the running head start.
Yeah, and when people are running, when that amount of people run and they're all clutching their assholes trying to stop themselves from shitting themselves while they're running, it's not a nothing burger.
Oh, and this isn't a nothing burger. I'm going with the Truth Factory on this one. This is a felony burger. This is a big double felony burger with cheese and bacon. There's no foliage. There's no fluids. There's meat. There's cheese. There's roll. And there's felony. Okay, that's what you got. Big old felony burger, because this is... Oh my God, this is people. If nothing happens of this, okay, if everybody just shrugs and moves on, and you know what, there's a possibility of that, because I talk to people and they go, well, what are you talking? I don't even know whether it's there. I'm sorry, this was an attempt. This is actual legitimate. Well, I mean, a claim to legitimate proof. Okay, we haven't seen the proof. We've only seen the summary of the proof. Okay, but at this point, you know what? Release the FISA memos. Release the actual FISA warrant. Release it all. Okay, release all of it. But I know what Donald Trump's going to do. He's going to dribble this out. He's going to dribble this out over weeks. You're going to get all that information, but he's going to wait a week and then leave something else and then wait a week. You know why? So he keeps this in the news. And he should. He should. But at this point, you know what? I'm kind of the guy who likes to think about both sides, who likes to give the benefit of the doubt. No, fire everybody. Fire everybody. Fire everybody now.
Actually, no. He's doing something that's even more funnier, which is, oh, you don't want me looking at you? Why not? As he leans in, widening his eyes. Why don't you want me looking at you? You starting to sweat there, son? Wonder why you're sweating, eh? How long can you keep this up before you break, boy? Hey, you with me, son? Hey? Yeah, see, you just fucked up there. You just done my job for me. Congratulations, son. You're an idiot.
If anything comes off, I'm hoping this. By the way, this is also you go on to mainstream news. They are freaking out. They are freaking out. Every Democrat is having a panic attack because they think that if they just confess now, this can go away. But Donald Trump doesn't need the mainstream media. He leads them around by their nose. He's going to dribble this out. He's going to release information every once in a while. He's going to keep this in the news for weeks, if not months, probably right up until the midterm elections if he has his way. And you are going to he's just going to keep bitch slapping the DNC until they freaking cry for mercy. And you know what I am so looking forward to? In another week, I believe the extension to avoid the government shutdown comes back up. So we've got about 10 days until the government shuts down again. Holy crap. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be fun as hell. If you want to watch an entire political party bend over and grab their ankles, wait until the government shutdown comes back up because they're going to have to. They're screwed. Nothing they do is going to win. It's going to be glorious. And they have it coming. They have it coming. Everything that happens to them, they have it coming. After reading this, they're just evil. But anyway, anything else on this topic before we move on to other stuff? Yeah, I think we got it covered. Now into something important. PC gone mad. Formula One bans grid girls, and grid girls blame feminists. To sum it up here, Formula One has said we don't want beautiful women standing around by cars on the field at our Formula One events anymore, so they've been banned. Now, just so you know, they polled their audience, and 60% said, no, we'd like grid girls. And I think like another 20 or 30% said, don't give a crap. But so maybe 10% of the population didn't want the grid girls anymore. And
actually, it was only probably about 1% of the population. It was the fucking idiot feminists that bloody don't realise that these are actually not scantily clad strippers that are just drooling all over cars. They're actually decently dressed in most cases. They're professional models that these feminists would be ogling at in their fucking Woman's Day magazines normally. And they're earning an honest living. Like, they're not even flashing their gash or anything. They don't even have to plop out a tit. All they do is just stand there, smile, and look fucking pretty. And then, like, what's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, this only goes to prove exactly what I've said for years. Feminism isn't for women. Feminism is for ugly women. It's for women who aren't popular. It's for women who are on the outs. If you're a good-looking, decent woman, or you've got a wonderful personality, or you're a good person, you don't need feminism because people like you. If you're an unlikable person, feminism is for you. Sorry. I know you're going to get pissed off about that, but feminism is attacking beautiful women.
But no, because there's a difference between actual feminism and misandry, which is what a lot of what quote unquote like feminists are seen as. And I'm sorry, as someone who does identify as a feminist, half of the shit that people sit here and say is feminist bullshit is not what feminism is about at all. It's not about making women more powerful than men. It's about the concept of equality in all.
Call it feminism. Why not call it egalitarianism?
Well, no, I'm all for that base concept, but the problem is that the base concept and reality don't seem to match up. Okay, you need to start if you're going to try and fix feminism, you got to start policing your own, which means feminism needs to come out and say you're not feminism. When some woman does this crap, every feminist on the planet needs to run around and go, that's not feminism. Okay, but they don't. They don't. If you don't call it out, everybody's going to get that in their heads. Okay, I'm sorry, but these feminists have taken over feminism. These are the new feminists. I like to call them fourth wave feminists. The third wave has been completely destroyed. There's no third wave anymore. There's only these fourth wave feminists who have destroyed everything. I mean, third wave feminism wasn't the best to begin with, but this fourth wave is totally toxic. It's destroyed everything that's feminism, and they've taken over. It's like a, what do you call it? It's like a corporate buyout, a corporate takeover. So I can understand your position of this isn't real feminism, but I'm sorry, but feminism has lost to these guys. But you can argue with me if you want.
Well, with these bloody feminists, like, okay, all right, we'll ban the pit bitches. They have to shut the fuck up about the pay gap, because all I actually do see is that every time there's a line of work where women can earn an honest buck without having to spread their legs or anything like that, it seems that fucking feminists want to shut that shit down. And I think, yeah, with this mainly, it's probably just because a diesel dyke, no one wants to see them sitting next to a Formula One car. So they can't look about the wage gap when they're actively going and sabotaging like well-paid female jobs.
Well, the thing is, the wage gap doesn't exist. It's something that they made up.
Well, no, wait. No, the wage gap exists, but what it stands for is different. Okay. It's an earnings gap. It's an earnings gap. Okay? Yes. Because men work more hours, so they get paid more.
Yeah, it's a time you've actually worked gap.
Yeah, but although as a side note, the spending gap is for women. Women spend $4 for every dollar a man spends. They may not earn as much, but they spend more money. Figure that out. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. The legitimate point is, I'm all for if a woman wants to be a prostitute. Okay, I don't approve of it, but you should be allowed to do that. Okay, that's your choice.
Right. I 100% agree with you on that.
This is taking away women's choices. This is anti-feminism. They may claim to be feminists, they're anti-feminists. But most feminism is turned anti-feminist. Feminism. Most feminists are anti-feminist.
I absolutely agree with prostitution. It's a different story out in Australia because we legalised it and we found a hell of a lot of benefits from it. Basically, divorce rates halved. Fucking domestic violence charges basically dropped drastically. There was a few other real good aspects. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we were able to keep all the girls in check. So they had, get checked at STDs and all this kind of stuff. They get supplied frangers and lube and all this kind of shit. They're taken off the streets and they're in buildings where they've got security and all this kind of shit where they're safe and they're looked after and they're not down some dark alleyway somewhere.
Right. See, that's exactly how it should be done. I wholeheartedly agree with that concept. I do feel like if you really do want to do that with your body, that's your choice. I'm not going to stop you. More power to you. But
well, I'm telling you right now, if I was born a Sheila and I was a half-decent sort, I sure as shit wouldn't have spent 9 years driving friggin' trucks around Sydney. Bloody, like, and they're well paid, they're respected jobs nowadays. And this is like the Formula One band. That's so far away from the fucking porn industry. It's got nothing to do with the porn industry. It's heavily set right in the middle of fucking bloody white bread fucking family style bloody advertising.
I don't see any difference between these people and cheerleaders. Are you going to ban cheerleaders next? I mean, I don't.
Some fucker standing on the side of the road with a sandwich board. Yeah, some fucker standing on the side of the road with a sandwich board is exactly the same thing. It just doesn't have big tits and a pretty face.
But if you do research into this, every woman who is complaining about this, who they've trotted out, they are ugly as hell.
That's what I said
no good-looking woman
no one wants to see it
is against this. No decent woman with a decent personality. The people who are they're shrews. They're horrible people. They just enjoy the suffering of others. That's it. And if you want to say they're not feminists, I'm with you. But unfortunately, they are running around claiming to be. So this isn't feminist. This is anti-feminine. This is anti-woman. That's what it is.
Just call them sour. Just call them sourpuss diesel dykes, and that'll shut them up. Well, for about 30 seconds until they can think of a retort.
But
wow.
If you're legitimately for equality, then be for equality. But this isn't it. They're not holding themselves to their own standards. It's a joke. So, but anyway, moving on. Anything else on this?
No.
All right. Okay. Let's talk about John Kerry. John Kerry is considering a presidential run in 2020. Thoughts?
No.
Okay, I think that's all that needs to be said on this.
That was funny.
Atlanta Selects tells us about the third gender. There are women, men, and muxes, says a non-binary individual from the Mexican town of Huactan in Ivan Alita's short documentary. We have our own mux identity, which is what defines us. Apparently, indigenous Zapotec culture of I can't pronounce this. Not only accepts that there is a third category of mixed gender. I would also like to point out the Oaxaca were wiped out. They were completely obliterated. So that's not a ringing endorsement for this concept, in my opinion, considering that they were basically subjugated. So
we're not actually going to see bearded Sheilas in bikinis going, "Hello, papi, you want a good time?"
Wow.
I mean, personally, I don't care. I mean, I read through it and it's like, well, all right, whatever. It is what it is. Okay, there's people like that. Sure, whatever. You know, but my issue with this thing here is they try to, how do I put this? They try to, I don't want to say whitewash. You know, what's the term? I mean, there's some, when you actually look into these people, there's some serious problems. You know, it's not all sunshine kittens down there. You know, there's still issues. But this tries to put lipstick on a pig. Anyway, any thoughts? Or just something interesting?
I got nothing. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's okay. It is what it is. Thought it was worth talking about for briefly. This one's of importance to me. Please do not try to bring your emotional support peacock onto a plane. Now, for those of you who don't know what an emotional support animal is, it's when you have an animal that you bring along with you because it gives you emotional support. Now, it might sound like bullshit, but I've dealt with a couple of clients who really have problems, and having a dog that they can pet and focus on keeps them from going completely berserk. All right, so the concept of an emotional support animal, I believe in it. Now, they've seen emotional support cats, emotional support dogs. Now, in this case, the emotional support peacock was because the woman was allergic to all animal dander. So she needed an emotional support animal, and oddly enough, peacocks are really smart. They are incredibly intelligent birds. Okay, so this woman got an emotionally support peacock, certified, doctor-approved peacock, and according to the airplane place, she said, "Hey, I'm bringing my emotionally support animal on," and they said, "You can't bring a peacock on," and she got approval or something from one place, but when she showed up, they said, no peacocks on the plane. So
Okay. Well, here's something everybody needs to realise about the peacock is peacock's another one of those fucking arsehole Australian fucking things, and that dirty great big thing coming out its arsehole is a dirty great big shield. And what it does is it fans all these feathers out, and you can probably gather how tall this bird is going to be by the time he's furled all these bloody things out. And the whole idea is it's supposed to scare away, make it look bigger than anything else. Now, these things go humans. Do you really want one of these fuckers let loose on a plane?
I don't know about that. Like, on the other hand, supposedly it was well trained, so it shouldn't be attacking people.
Well trained or not, it's a feral animal in Australia, and yeah, you generally don't bother training feral animals because they're not really adept to being trained, or else they'd be trained like dingoes. But yeah, she could have picked something a bit more appropriate, like a parrot or a cockatoo or something like that. Like, now this one, I definitely believe that she's just gone out and done it just to be stupid. Because there have been YouTube videos like this where people have tried to take stupid animals on, and it's only going to take fucking Logan fucking Paul to find this out, and that dumb fuck's going to go and hire a silverback gorilla just so he could say it's his friggin' support pet, just to be a dickhead.
Well, do note she brought a carrier. She just wanted it next to her on the plane. So this wasn't going to be wandering around the cabin. And I think she also paid for a seat, too. Now, I will admit, it is a feral animal, as you say. So
and that's still 3 feet long.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 3 foot long bird.
Oh,
like,
that's why she needed to buy another seat.
Yeah, it's the most unwieldy friggin' thing you could ever get. And the only reason why you would get a peacock, specifically as any sort of pet at all, is just to piss someone off.
That is also a possibility. I mean, on one hand, I kind of want to be, what's the law say? Go with what the law says. And if somebody found a way to take your law and mess with it, you don't break the law, you change the law. Okay. On the other hand, you got a point. Peacocks are feral animals. And
there's something more appropriate she could have picked.
Probably. Yeah. Just the idea, though. Although I did see the video on it. It sits on her shoulder and she walks around with it. It seems well trained. Then again, so did that monkey that tore off that person's face 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the California one?
Yeah, and pit bulls are supposed to be safe, remember, too, until they maul your kid to death.
Any thoughts on the peacocks?
To be fair, though, a pit bull mauling somebody to death has more to do with how it was raised than...
Oh, yeah, in defense of pit bulls.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it usually has more to do with how they were raised than anything else. Moving on. It's been brewing around the internet for a while. I hear it again and again. Rumors here. There's been some talk that Sweden is preparing for a quote-unquote civil war. The Prime Minister wants to deploy the army to no-go zones. I don't know if anybody else been following up the reports, but there have been reports of grenade attacks of 14-year-olds walking around with AK-47s and Russian I forget what the Russian rifle. That's the one. Just some serious, scary shit. I mean, whole weapon caches and the whole 9 yards. And apparently the police have abandoned entire cities. Like small towns, the Sweden police have just left. Like they locked up their station and gone away. So, the fact that they even are thinking about deploying their military inside their own nation should tell you something.
Yeah, and this isn't something that hasn't been fucking, like, you haven't seen this coming, because I've actually been saying this shit since they started moving refugees over the Mediterranean. Like, the only way that this is going to stop now is either Russia invades Europe and fucking boots them all out, or they all get their shit together and just go, we don't care, you think we're racist, we don't like you, fuck off.
Well, there's a third way it can end. The countries can implode and become Muslims.
Yeah, nah, that can't really be an option. That.
Really, 10% of Sweden is refugees now.
Yeah, I know.
10% of the nation was not born there. 10%.
Yeah.
It's the highest ratio ever. This is the canary in the coal mine. Okay? If they do go to civil war where they have to deploy their own armies to take care of these refugees, and these refugees are not, like, this is a country without guns. How do you get grenades and machine guns in a country without guns? Well,
actually, Sweden's one of those national service countries where you take your gun home.
Oh, really? I thought they were no guns. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
No.
I must have gotten mixed up with somebody else.
Big misconception about fucking Sweden is that they've actually got one of the world's most top-notch militaries, because they are right on Russia's doorstep and have been all through the Cold War. They were the first ones that were going to cop it, and they've even got like sections of their highway that they can actually take all the bollards and shit out and turn them into runways at like about 2 hours notice. This is like they've got holes in mountains and fucking airfields up in the mountain ranges and shit like that. So, you know, like they're in like national service. Every bastard has to do it. You get to take your gun home and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and that's all because of like they were right smack bang fucking.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been totally misinformed then. I apologize for the mistake. But no, you think a country that does that would be a little more careful.
Well, you see, the thing is with countries that do have conscription, especially you've got first world countries, you have a look at the vast difference between the 60s and the 70s in Australia, when we had national service in the 60s, and then we got rid of it in the 70s, and shit's just gone downhill from there. People don't have a work ethic. They don't have a essential sense of social morality. Fucking crime rates going up. People are swearing like bastards. Fucking all sorts of shit's going wrong. And I reckon...
Yeah, that's swearing. It's horrible. Oh, I think we lost Gwendy.
She's starting to like pass out.
Oh, okay. Well, she's got to go. Damn, I knew we should have gone with Fashion Police to start. Ah, well. We're almost done with this.
I kind of gather that Gwendy took a sniff of the bottle and that was enough for her.
Nah, she had two full glasses.
I was going to say, she had 2 full bottles. Well, yeah. At any rate, no. I mean, you'd think with a nation that's got that kind of thing going on would be a little more careful about its internal problems, but who knows how this is going to turn out?
They were too busy focused on what's happening outside of the country to be focused on what's happening inside. Now they're focusing on what's happening inside just to find out that it's too late.
Well, how this goes is how Europe goes, in my opinion. Like, what happens in Sweden is what will happen to all of Europe. So we should keep an eye on it. But honestly, God, I haven't heard anything new about this. So maybe they've got it under control, or maybe the war's already begun. They're just really good at keeping it under wraps. We'll have to see. Maybe Sweden's going to become the next Venezuela. Anyway, moving on. Speaking of Venezuela.
We'll know when that happens. There will be mass exodus of refugees and shit everywhere.
Venezuela government in denial as doctors warn of return to medical stone age. Basically, Venezuela has run their country into the ground. The death of Oscar Perez was meant with a whimper and not with any sort of outrage. There is no longer any sort of Venezuelan pride anymore. They do not give a crap about their own nation. And I think the problem is Venezuela was doing pretty good for a couple of years there. There was a lot of money going around because of oil. And then the oil prices dropped out, and the people who were managing the country did absolutely nothing to diversify their portfolios. However, when it went under, I think a lot of the Venezuelans who had improved themselves, everybody who had half a brain, left. So anybody who really was a leader was gone. And then shit hit the fan, and now you've got people running around eating zoo animals and, beating cows to death for food. And, the doctors are flat out saying, hey, we don't even have bottles of water, much less bottles of medicine. Don't even think about getting like anti-rejection drugs or anything like that. If you've got kidney problems, get out of the country.
Yeah, it is really sad when you consider.
For a minute.
Oh,
it's really sad when you.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
shortly.
that's a really.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really sad situation when you consider that even in Syria, in the midst of fucking ISIS-held territory that's been cut off for months and stuff like that, they can still get medical supplies in there.
Well, it's because countries like that still have the economy going to some degree. Like, they still have a diverse amount of businesses. They aren't completely dependent on one thing. Oh, oil, we've reached peak oil. It's never going to collapse. It's never going to drop to 2/3 its current price. Yeah, pharmacies are filling their shelves with water bottles because they don't have medicine and they just want to have the bottles up there so it looks like they have something. What the hell? What the hell?
Yeah, no, well, there are parts in Syria where, the hospitals have been completely destroyed. All the supplies and stuff ruined, destroyed, knocked off, stolen, whatever, and they've still managed to get that back in. And when you've got a country that's not encumbered by a full-blown war, it's not really a full-blown war yet, but yeah, when they can't even get medical supplies, it's sort of like, shit, how bad you have to be when ISIS is doing better than you.
This is what I think is the really good way of keeping track of how's it going. In the 80s, there were maybe 1,200 cases. Okay, last year, 40,000 cases of malaria. Malaria! I thought that was gone. Nope.
America. In most places.
Oh, it's back. It's back with a vengeance. The only people that have the anti-malaria treatments are the military, and basically it's a black market. I'm sure they go around saying, oh, you have the malaria. Well, I want a blowjob. So if you want to live, put those lips to work. I mean, seriously. It's awful. It's awful. The place is completely falling apart. And if anybody's going, oh no, they're going to overthrow the guy. No, they're not. Because the guy who's running their country was smart. He's basically told the Constitution go fuck itself. The court he ignores. The people who are their the senators, they're a joke. He can do whatever he wants. He got rid of all the old guard, killed off everybody, replaced them with new people who are young and beholden to him, unpopular people. So they have no hope of doing anything on their own. They are beholden to him. That's also why they're so incompetent. He picked people based on their loyalty, not on their ability to actually get anything done. So he's got this group. None of them are going to attack him because he's their only meal ticket. Anything happens to him, they're dead. They're dead. They're broke. Okay. And if you think the people are going to rise up, that Oscar Perez was your last shot. That was it. That guy who was a former, actor, that guy. If you guys aren't concerned that when he was trying to surrender, he got shot, your country's fucked. You've given up.
Yeah.
Your country's going down. There's no Venezuela anymore. It isn't even a government. It's just a totalitarian dictatorship.
Well, if he doesn't relinquish power I think someone's going to ask the question: where's that Marine recon sniper when you need him?
I don't think anybody's going to assassinate him. Maybe somebody is going to get so pissed off they're going to grab a bomb, strap it to their chest, and blow themselves up next to him. But at this point, I don't think they'll do anything because I'm sure there's some criminal boss who will just step in and take his place. The system is in place. And the people do not have the will. And I think that they, from what I've heard, they're constantly being bombarded with anti-capitalism. They think it will actually be worse under capitalism than what they currently have. That the reason why everything's going wrong is because of capitalism, when the fact of the matter is they are as communist as you can get. This is the example of what happens with top-down governments. It just doesn't work. So
I guess the next question most likely is going to be, at what point do we just go, well, all right, we'll just give them a sympathy nuke put them out their misery?
Yeah, I guess that's the question. I mean, the fact of the matter is I don't even think America should get involved. And I know you might be saying, oh, well, how do we save these people? We don't. We don't save them. Because you're looking at total rebuilding of their country. Total. Mm-hmm. I mean, you think Puerto Rico's bad. This is horrible. I mean, this country needs to be bulldozed and rebuilt. And anybody who gets involved in this mess, you're going to be dragged right down with them. Because they're going to be like, oh, thank you for coming to save us. We need money. We need more money. We need more. It's going to be what's happening in Puerto Rico, where we send them the money and they just embezzle it. Oh, here's all this equipment to rebuild your infrastructure. We're going to sell it on the open market because it's made of copper and we can sell the copper. What the fuck? There's people.
Oh, no, we won't even be that smart about it. We'll just go, oh, well, instead of you just selling all the shit we're going to give you, we'll just give you the money up front.
Oh, yeah, Jacob, you have a point there. Yeah, and if you talk to a communist about it's not real communism there. It's actually capitalism. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, price fixing by the government is not capitalism. Competition. If the government doesn't allow competition, that's socialism. Sorry, there's no capitalism there. The only capitalism is on the black market. So,
there's a hint in the title. Capitalism is to gain capital, to gain currency, money, fucking investments, and all this kind of stuff. Like the hint's in the title.
Yeah, if you don't have money, you don't have a functioning economy. So, it's poor Venezuela.
Well, hey, maybe they might get the point if we didn't call communism, just call it dumb fuck go brokeism.
That would make more sense to me. Jesus Christ.
Bit more straightforward.
I mean, it's kind of like, this region of the world, it's going to be the next Somalia. Somalia and Venezuela is going to be these two shitholes that are just going to be festering shithole countries for the rest of eternity.
Yeah.
Sorry to steal that from you, Trump, but yeah, these are going to be shithole countries from now until forever. At any rate, moving on, two more things real quick. Voters of color won't be fooled by Trump's claims on black joblessness rate. I don't want to actually talk about the article. I want to talk about the article itself and CNN putting it out. This is damage control. You're hearing this a lot. The CNN is basically trying to convince black people, no, don't listen to Trump and the fact that he's getting you jobs and money. Don't pay attention to that. You're still oppressed. You won't be fooled. I cannot believe the amount of lies and spin and damage control coming out of the Democratic Party. They are just flat out lying. They are flat out lying to people. And I guess at this point, they've got nothing to lose. Like, they know they've lost. So what do you have to, it's like, wasn't me, And who GPS made the memo? Wasn't me. I mean,
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the news bite where one of these idiots is standing in front of a factory that's clearly fully involved in fire, and he's like, "No, there's no factory fire here at all. What's say? Look behind me. Oh, well, why should I look behind me? I assure you, there's no fire there. Don't believe what you see. Fucking.
Who are you gonna believe? You or my lying me or your lying eyes? I mean, God Almighty, looking at the Van Jones, you should be ashamed, Van Jones. If you ever listen to this, you should be ashamed. You are a horrible person. For somebody you are a poverty pimp. You horrible person. You are trying to keep your race down so that you can make money. You horrible, horrible person. My God.
Father Teresa from now on.
Oh yeah, you are profiting from the suffering of your own people. Not that I'm big on identity politics because I'm white. I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about white people. So why should I give a crap about black people? I don't give a crap about people. Okay. I care about my friends and my family. That's it. So, that's just where my priorities are. So, but I don't discriminate. I hate, if I hate you, it's not because of your color. It's just because you're an asshole. But this guy sees nothing but identity politics, and it's awful. And CNN is the worst. They are. God Almighty, why is anybody even watching them anymore? This is, you're right, Jacob. This is just flat out begging. This is just begging. This is just, please to keep voting Democrat. I know that we ruined your lives. That Donald Trump came around and in 1 year he's made everything better. But don't you want to go back to our plantation, the Democrat black person plantation? You're people of color. God,
since there's a sucker born every minute, that's probably going to end up happening, but that's hopefully going to be a couple of decades down the track.
This is, if anybody needs proof that power is addictive and that addicts will do whatever it takes to keep their drug of choice, this is it. Because you even in the title won't be fooled by Trump's claims on black joblessness rates. I mean, they're trying to flat out say that the jobless rate isn't lower than it's ever been. It's a claim. That means it's not real. Anybody with a brain cell can read this and go, wait a minute, but what is the jobless rate? Oh, it's at a record low. Well, didn't Donald Trump have something to do with that? Oh my God. And the weird thing is that the reason why I want to bring this up is my black coworkers have been talking about this more than I have. They are pissed. They're like, no, and you know what? The more that I've looked into Donald Trump in the past 2 or 3 months, the more I love the guy. And it's because the black people love Trump. They do. They really do, because they think he legitimately is looking out for them.
Well, that's another thing, like fucking Hillary's side, like the black fellas over in America got to fucking realise by now that they've been fucking duped by these cunts. Like for almost 3 terms running, they got duped with Obama's going to change. If you don't vote Obama, you're racist. And then, they didn't fall for it for the fucking, you don't vote the female, you're sexist. But fucking, like, are these people starting to realise that they've been treated like fuckwits or what?
Oh, I think it's finally starting to kick in. I think it's finally starting to dawn on. Because, by the way, when they've polled black people are totally against immigration, which they wisely should be. Okay?
Yeah.
Because immigration poorly affects black people. If you're poor or black, and a lot of black people are poor, so they get double whammy, bringing in cheap foreign labor is bad for you.
Yep, we found this out with the Indians and the Pakistanis. They came out here and would do everything that we'd do for like 10 cents a pop, and fucking they started taking jobs like crazy. And guess who's the least popular nationality in Australia?
Oh, let me think.
I didn't give you the clue.
Indian? Oh, goodness gracious me. Please do not be punching me in the face before you bite the squishy.
Oh, you're very, very close. I am actually doing a Sri Lankan accent, but it's very close to India, so you're very much forgiven.
I'm doing a poo. I'm doing a poo from Simpsons. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were actually taking a shit for a second there.
It's close. It's close. I don't do accents very well.
I'm doing a poo.
Oh, I mean, but it's giving me some hope. And the problem is there's a cynical part of me that thinks it's just going to disappear and all this is going to be forgotten and that people aren't going to be paying attention. But there's another part of me that thinks, you know what? I honestly believe Trump is going to be relentless. And I've got some problems with the guy, but after watching the Nuez Memo, he gets a pass on just about everything from now on. Because I was going, yeah, he's talking about there being a conspiracy. Well, I want to see the actual proof before I believe there's an actual conspiracy against you. Yeah, I think people worked against you, but I don't think there was an actual there's an actual conspiracy between the Obama, the DNC, the FBI, and the DOJ. There's an actual link between this cadre of people to conspire against you. They actually say flat out that Trump should not be elected. Okay, so there's actual freaking proof. Okay, well then, fuck those people. Fuck them in the ass, sideways, with a chainsaw. Oh my God. So...
Yeah, 9/11 truthers should be paying attention to this too, because this is actually what happens when a conspiracy is real. You can't cover this shit up, boys and girls.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, to digress into a meta conspiracy, but most conspiracies that are huge are really difficult to keep a conspiracy. I mean, maybe even I will say that if Hillary got elected, this still might come out. All right, it still might come out if Hillary was in charge, but she would have her work cut out for her to keep this under wraps. But it might not.
Yeah, there's so much fucking incompetence on the Hillary side of things that this definitely would have come out, but it wouldn't have come out as loud as what it has.
But it still would have come to light. But when you think of like 9/11 or any other like conspiracy theories like that, there's you saying, well, one of two things is happening: either the government is completely incompetent and things just got past our security, or the government is hyper competent and did it deliberately. I know which one feels better, knowing that your government is hyper competent and omnipotent. That feels better because then you know that everything that happens is for a reason. But the
unfortunate fact is,
the affection is that it's probably incompetence.
Yep. Oh, it's not probably. It's actual incompetence.
Anyway,
all you really need to see is like a lot of the things that politicians are doing nowadays, and some of the dodgy shit that they should know, not that they can't get away with, but they still attempt it anyway. And then some of the fucking ridiculously stupid shit they're coming out with nowadays, like say with just these immigrants. Let's just forget the fact that Australia and Europe have just had an immigration problem, and you're now about to accept these things. No, fucking no. Like they're not that fucking competent. Not at all.
Am I just getting cynical at my old age? But I seem to recall that politicians used to be like smarter and cagier. Like,
I've got a theory on that. I've got a theory on that. See, I've noticed that it turns out that everybody who was older than me when I was growing up, now it turns out none of them had a fucking clue of what they were doing in the first place. It's blatantly obvious to me now. They had no fucking idea. And neither does anybody nowadays. And it's like quality of training is degraded to the stage that like you'll never get those smart people back again. But even then, if you have a look, like most of those people were either drunk, like bloody winging it, or fucking just hoping to cross it, knowing to find out how incompetent they actually were. Just take a look at the Cold War with nuclear weapons and stuff like that. If you knew how drunk most of those people were when they were dealing with that and how little they actually knew about what they were doing, you'd shit yourself. You'd think, like, how in the hell did we survive that?
No, that is true. Yeah, we came real
total incompetence.
I think we once identified the rising moon as a missile assault.
Yeah, there was one occasion where I think it was the moon that actually set off 3 registered launches. There's another instance where a computer programming change in the Russian system put down, I think it's 11 integers or 2 integers. So basically every reading it got, it would come up with an extra reading. And they did a test which was supposed to bring up 1 reading. And then they ended up getting like 111 readings all at one go. And there's one bloke who's credited with saving the world because it was literally down to the point where he was about to insert his key and turn the switch when he's just gone, actually, no, we'll give it 2 more minutes. And the computer righted itself, and it was clear that it was a computer error. And he basically went and emptied his bowels because he damn near killed everyone. Yeah, it's got that close.
No, I can see that. Well, I mean, but, you have a good point there because we complain about modern colleges a lot, You know what? I never really thought about it, but maybe you are right. Maybe overall we are making dumber students.
Well, we are, especially when you have a look at, say, Sydney University, for example, where in one hallway you can go into one room and learn about architectural technology, structural fucking integrity, and how to build the original World Trade Center towers. And then you'd walk 2 doors down and you'll do a course on exactly how everything you've just learnt in that engineering course is bullshit because government conspiracy are, and you can be passed on both of them even though they contradict each other completely.
It's a bit disturbing, but now that I've been thinking about it, we are making dumber people. Maybe that's why that's probably this conspiracy sucks so much is that these politicians, and it's not, these are old politicians. You think the newer replacements are going to be smarter? A lot of people talk about, the elites want dumb people, the masses to be stupid so they're easily controlled. Did it occur to you that maybe it isn't just the masses that are stupid, that maybe our elite are getting dumber too?
Yep, that's exactly the case.
Like maybe overall we're getting dumber. And maybe, what? It's a bad observation, but somewhere along the line, I think we need to start getting back to beating the crap out of people and making them smarter by suffering.
Yep. We used to have a saying in Australia is to punch some fucking smarts into somebody. You fucking punch some sense into someone. That used to be a thing. Like, okay, right, back in the day, right, if I had a disagreement with a bloke, actually, there was even a fucking article on this. 2 cunts in Melbourne fucking just this week had a disagreement on the train. They thumped the shit out of each other. They hugged it out, and that was the end of that.
You know what? There's some merit to that. Well, that it does I wouldn't want to have everybody doing it, but, there's some merit to it. Because then it's resolved. It's over with, and you move on.
Yeah. Well, that's with last year, like as far as I was concerned, after I told this person to go and get fucked well and truly, that should have been the end of it. No, they decided to draw it out because a little girl decided she was going to interfere in a big man's world, and she didn't like it when the big man turned around and had frothy teeth.
Well, speaking of arguments, moving on. Last topic here. I don't think Drew's coming back, to be honest, and probably not Gwendy either. So I don't know if you want to do the what do you call it, fashion police today. We might save that for when we've got more people. It's up to you. But last topic here. Welcome to YouTube's Blood Sports, the alt-right's newest recruiting tool. Basically, left-wing media is trying to portray all the arguments on the internet, on YouTube, as attempts to, lure in people to the alt-right. And they've got pictures like Sticks and Hammer, the Ghost Poo contest, Mr. McTur. And these people are as far from the right as you can get. These are downright liberals, real liberals, not the progressives, but actual libertarians. And they are supposedly alt-right.
They got that fucking Brittany Valenti up there. I was like, hey, who's paying attention to what that fucking idiot's got to say?
This whole blood sports, it's, to be honest, I haven't even heard this term. I've never even heard it being used.
I actually, when you said YouTube blood sports, I thought, oh, right, we're going to be going on about this KSI Joe Weller fight.
And of course, they're naming Sargon of Akkad, who's probably the head. But that guy is, I'm going to tell you right now, that guy sucks at debate. I love his videos. He's really good at a video that he has time to think about and write a script for. But I've watched his debates, and it has been painful. It has been downright painful. He is not fast on his feet. He is not a quick thinker.
And when he brings in recordings of his debates when he's trying to defend himself, it's just sort of like, oh, dude, you're not helping your case here, mate.
Dude. It's like, dude, we love you. We love you very much, but you're an orator. You give speeches from a podium. You do not debate well. Okay? Just it's okay. It's okay. We know what you were trying to say. It's just that the other people usually think fast around you, and he falls into logical traps. Because he's slow, he's methodical, he just doesn't have that fast on your feet kind of thing. So to even claim that he's in anything related to, debate blood sports is hysterical. Love you, dude. Love you, but...
Yeah, this is really fucking hilarious to see. I've been getting in on some of these 4chan pranks, like pools closed and all this kind of shit, and just the reactions of it. And another aspect of society in this world that I can see is going to get dumber and dumber are the people who are going to get left behind off of YouTube. You got people that are like, oh yeah, go watch this video on YouTube, and they carry on as if you just sent them to a porn site or something like that. It's like, oh no, oh YouTube, oh no, oh no, don't get involved in that. So what the fuck, you cunt? You think your shit don't stink? Fucking, there's nothing wrong with fucking YouTube. What the fuck's wrong with you? But buddy. A lot of these YouTubers that fucking that are coming out with these pranks and shit, it's awfully funny to see all these what was that one, the Asiana flight crash when someone had rung up the news station and told them the pilots' names were we too low, holy shit, bang ding ow, and fuck my head, or some shit like that, or who flung dung, or weigh 1 ton, some shit like that. And it's just funny to they couldn't understand this. They're just like, where did this come from? What happened to make this happen? It's like, yes, it's the internet. Welcome to it, boys and girls. You've just been had. And that was fucking funny. But yeah, with other society and stuff like that, the laws are already so far behind what's happening on things like YouTube and all this kind of stuff that they've just got absolutely no fucking clue what's going on. I bet you $10 if I walked into any court in most places in the world and I started saying shit like troll or fucking meme or something like that, no one would have a fucking clue what I was going on about. And they'd probably think I was trying to be some nefarious computer hacker. Oh, it's code talk for getting into government servers and it's funny just to watch these people just absolutely fucking clueless. It's like, we don't know what to do. Are we supposed to be offended? Do we laugh? Are we supposed to be angry? What do we do? It's hilarious.
Nah, yeah. Although the weird thing is, for a while there it used to be fringe stuff, but it's being consistently now, if you're following YouTube and all of us and even this tiny little channel, we're kind of ahead of the curve, repeatedly. It's amazing how far behind the curve mainstream media is. And I'm not trying to just hype us up here, but Because I'm one of the first ones to go around and go, yeah, the whole skeptic community should, yeah, we're just a bunch of people, shit posting and just hanging out and doing have fun things. Some of us are making some money at it, but most of us are just doing this for the fun of it. But no, I'm a better political commentator than anybody on CNN. And I'm a joke. Okay, I do this once a week. I'm the stuff that I do off the cuff. Half the time I don't even read these articles all the way through. I'm a fast reader, so I just scan through it real quick and go up, yep, that, yep, okay, got it. 5 seconds in, let's start. These guys have scripts. What was that one show? I think it was what's his name? He was pretending to be a 1970s or 80s like newscaster. And somebody started messing with the teleprompter, and he literally was Anchorman. He was just saying whatever was on the screen. It didn't matter what it was. He didn't even think. He was just saying it. That is literally everybody out there. These reporters you see out there, they're not reporters. They're just talking heads. If they don't have a script, they don't have a thought.
Yep. Well, even if they do have a thought, it's usually wrong, and it's usually fucking embarrassing. Just have a look at what happened with that Jessie J. Sheila when she came out with that Red Pill movie and the way we fucking treated her. Like, that was fucking embarrassing, watching those stupid fucking dumb cunts on that bloody stupid talk show just blatantly lying out their ass about that. Jessie J, she had them fucking fucked every way from bloody Sunday. Oh, well, we gave you several copies. Oh, they didn't work. Well, we gave you links to YouTube. Oh, well, we had to pay. Well, fucking, here's a free link. Oh, we just couldn't do it. So, no, you didn't bother doing it. And, like, fucking, that instance there, I lost absolutely every last skerrick of respect for those fucking announcers. I didn't even bother learning their fucking names. That's how little respect I got for them.
Actually, you know what's weird? I mean, you just made me remember something. It's tangible, but it's sort of related. I was listening to this group that the day before the State of the Union address, they were wandering around some university, I think in California. I forget the exact location. Then they were interviewing students, and they would just walk up to them and said, "So, what did you think about the State of the Union address last night?" And they would go.
People took it the wrong way and got defensive.
No. There were a number of people who said, "No, it's tomorrow night." And he goes, "Oh, okay, okay." Then he'd wander off. He'd find somebody else and say, "What did you think of the State of the Union last night?"
Okay,
and then about 1/3 of them started saying, "Oh, yeah, I saw it. I saw it last night. It was awful. I can't believe how racist he was." And they were saying the stupidest, most generic shit ever about how terrible Trump is and all this other crap, when they couldn't even have seen it because it wasn't for another 24 hours. And then the interviewer would start leading him on and saying, "Oh, and that part where he started getting all the Republicans to go along in a chant. Oh my God, do you remember that? Do you remember what he was chanting?" And they all go, "Yeah." I said, "I couldn't quite make it out. What were they chanting?" And he oh God, what was that? I forget exactly what it was. It was like this one guy goes, "Oh yeah," it was something about send the immigrants out or something. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, are you this stupid? If it was like, they got dozens of students to do this. This is how stupid we are making our children.
But Bob, see, just about to let you in on an unfortunate little secret. That's not a new thing, actually. The whole thing of videos where they just walk up to average Americans and ask them things like, what was the date of, like, well, yeah, what day do you celebrate the 4th of July on? And they can't even get that right.
Okay, no. I mean, stuff like that I can get, but you're just asking, they would start off with, did you see the debates? You can just say no. You don't have to embarrass yourself. But they wanted the
other one. Yeah, there was that other one where they did the dihydride oxide or something like that, or something like dihydroxide or dioxide hydro some shit. Basically, it's the chemical, the long way of saying water. And they were going up to people with a petition saying, "We've got to ban dihydride oxide," or some shit like that. It's in everything. It's in apples. It's in, and dumb cunts were like, "Oh shit, yeah, we got to ban this crap."
Oh, I remember that one. I heard about that one.
Yeah.
No, I get you that there's
those things out there too.
But I'm beginning to think that maybe we're getting dumber. Like, it seems to be like there was always a percentage of people who could fall for crap like that, but it seems like the percentage is increasing. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't think the trend. I don't think it bodes well for the future.
Nah, I do seem to keep drawing the conclusion that the internet's probably the world's worst ever invention because, apart from a number of things, one drastic thing it has done is it's prevented people from actually learning and retaining information. No one's actually learning anything anymore when you've got Google sitting in your pocket on the phone.
That is true. I have a feeling though that this is merely the growing pains. I think this is the point of growing pains. I think that you're going to have some negative. There's going to be a downside to the internet, and there's going to be an upside. But I think it's going to work itself out. This is you're going to be a decade or two where this kind of wiggles around, where in some regards it brings you more information and helps you to like understand all the bullshit that's going on. But at the same time, it makes you dumber because you don't do any thinking for yourself. So
Well, I can kind of only see an Orwellian type world in that kind of a thing because, like, if you're going to dumb the population down to the point where you absolutely need them to have things like iPhones to be told what to do and when to do it, yeah, that's basically 1984, right in a nutshell.
possibly, I guess the future's going to let us know. I will say this, though. If they ever figure out a chip where I can plug myself directly into the internet or a cell phone that goes straight to my ears and I can talk onto my phone by a little thing in my throat, I'm doing that. I will cybernetic myself up. I will be more than happy to become transhuman and ascend my brain to the internet because my intellect must exist for 1,000,000 years. I just want to live long enough to bear witness to the heat death of the universe. That's all. At any rate, did you want to get on to Fashion Police since there's only two of us? You want to save that for more people so we have more people because pain is best taken in shifts.
Mm-hmm.
It's your call.
Yeah.
Do you want to get a few in, or do you want to save it for next week?
Yeah, let's save it for next week. I like making Gwen laugh.
Gotcha. We'll see if we. You know what? Are you free tomorrow night?
What, sorry?
Tomorrow night. What are you doing tomorrow night about the same time?
Most likely nothing.
I'll try to talk to Wendy later and see if we can't do just Fashion Police tomorrow night. And but we'll see. I mean, if we can't get at least 4 people on because it seems to work better when we have 4 people, and we'll go through Fashion Police. We'll save it for otherwise we'll do it next week, and we'll just start off with it because what new news could happen next week that we have to talk about? Oh God!
You've just invoked the end of the world just saying that.
Oh, God, I don't know. This past week has been so much. I mean, I'm sorry that I weeded out a bunch of stuff before I even came to you guys to weed out more stuff. Like, this has just been, and it's like every week is 3 weeks long now. There's just so much going on. At any rate, we'll wrap it up here. So, to our one fan.
Well, hang on, I've got a couple of jokes.
Oh, okay. Let's get a wrapping up joke. Let's get some stuff in.
Well, okay. So does everybody, do you know about this politician we got in Australia called Pauline Hanson?
No, I didn't hear him.
All right. Well, yeah, she's this red-headed Queenslander that she's been in the forefront of trying to kick all the immigrants out for almost 20 years now. She was saying back in the early 90s that friggin' immigration had to stop and they were taking over the country. Anyway, so little Johnny's sitting in class one day and they have a substitute teacher who really didn't want to work that day, so he just thought, fuck this, I'll do a game, send half the class home. Righto, boys and girls, I'm going to say something that someone famous said, and you're going to tell me who it is, and for the purposes of the joke being Thursday, you can have Friday and Monday off, and we'll see you on Tuesday. All right, who said this? Don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And who flung dung? The Chinese kid put his hand up and he goes, oh, that was John F. Kennedy. Teacher said, oh, very good. See you on Tuesday. And the who flung dung says, oh, no, me want to be rocket scientist. I stay in school. All right. Okay, boys and girls, who said this? No child will be living in poverty by the year 2000. And Hung Lo, the other Chinese kid, put his hand up and he says, oh, that was Paul Keating. He said that. The teacher says, very good. I'll see you on Tuesday. And Hung Lo says, "Oh, me want to be like my friend Huflang Dang. I stay in school, be rocket scientist." Anyway, up the back, fucking little Johnny's gotten a bit fed up with this, and he's muttered under his breath in a voice that he thought that the teacher wouldn't hear him. He's just gone, "Fucking gooks." The teacher went, "Who said that?" And little Johnny jumps up and goes, "Pauline Hanson, I'll see you on Tuesday."
Holy crap.
Okay, now I mentioned that she was a redhead. I mentioned she's redheaded, right?
Yes.
Okay, now she's not an actual natural redhead, and she even dyes her pubes. You know why?
Why is that?
She hates them black cunts.
Oh! Oh, God. Oh. Oh, my God. Oh, that's awful. Oh.
That's
Oh.
that's how we treat our politicians out here.
Even the ones you like. Oh, my God. Oh.
And that is the one we like, too.
Hey, Jacob. Oh, hey, thanks for promoting me. Again, as long as we're at this point, I should also say the show is also for you people, the audience. If any of you are looking to start your own channel, podcast, anything like that, and you'll be going, my God, there's nobody out there who will help me get off the floor. Nobody give me any advice. Nobody to help me out. That's what I'm here for. Come on the show.
Come and see us.
Yeah, come on. You can come on the show. We'll help you.
We got a casting couch. We got tons of dildos, and we got heaps of lube. Don't worry, we'll get you sorted.
He's the guy who handles the catching cows. But as it stands, we can either hook you up with other people or give you some advice or, get you on the show so you can get some practice in, because that's what this is about, We've helped a couple other people get their own shows off the ground and always looking for new people. So, at any rate, I think this is probably a good place to wrap up. I think next time we're going to go straight to Fashion Police because I think we need to have some fun after this seriously draining week. Any rate, it's been real and it's been fun. I'm not sure if it's been real fun. So, any last words, Freddie?